The one thing that can never be underestimated at Celtic Football Club is the importance that Callum McGregor has to the team and the club, not just on the pitch but off the pitch also. We've all been asking the question, what was the timeline when Callum McGregor went to Spain to meet Brendan Rodgers for that lunch, and was he involved with Celtic? Was he involved with Celtic taking him over? But it wasn't. It was the fact that he was just on holiday in Mallorca, and Brendan Rodgers' his home is just 30 minutes down the road. As he considered a sensational return to Celtic, he found out that Callum was actually on holiday there, and he went up to his hotel and had lunch with him. Callum McGregor's been speaking about it. He says he was on holiday for around about 5 days, and we met up before he met up with the Scotland squad. It was completely random. He says as things started to unfold at Celtic, with Ange moving on, it was just a few days to chill out. Then he got the message from Brendan asking if we could catch up. And then obviously he's going to say yes, because they'd kept in touch at his time at Leicester. He's clearly got spies everywhere, says Brendan. He says it shows that nothing goes under the radar for too long. He says he was 30 minutes away from me, so he just met at my hotel. That was easy enough for me, he said. He says Brendan came to my hotel and we stayed for a bit of lunch. We were just in the restaurant. So Callum was actually surprised that nothing was leaked beforehand. He said it's quite surprised that usually with these type of things that there'll be a supporter who'll walk past and take a picture and it'll be all over social media, but it didn't happen. We were just a little bit lucky that we got a little bit of privacy to chat. The hotel was nice and private, he says. We stayed under the radar as probably as long as it needed, until Brendan told everyone about it. So we could take from that. We obviously had a great relationship the last time he was here. We kept in touch. Callum went on to say, he says we even kept in contact during the time at Leicester. So we met Brendan for lunch and we got talking about Celtic. Obviously we wanted to talk about where the club was, and it ended up into a 3-hour lunch. And we were just talking about football, talking about Celtic, and talking about where things were at Celtic and how we could actually progress as the club. And he really delved into the way that the club had been run over the last couple of years, and the talk got a little bit more serious as the lunch went on. He says, I know that these things take time to put together, but we both had a really good feeling about it after that meeting. And then it was down to the guys at Celtic and the board to put together the package for Brendan. As the days progressed, the chat was getting more and more serious about him coming back. I was just glad, said Callum, that he could play his part. He says, it was just off the cuff. It wasn't planned. I know there were a few rumours that the club had asked me to do it, but it wasn't the case. I wasn't in Mallorca to see him. It was just purely coincidence, says Callum McGregor, that I happened to be in Spain. Sometimes football has these sliding door moments, and obviously we're delighted to have him back because Brendan is a top manager, says Callum, and we're doing the work in pre-season, has been excellent. So the story is out at last. Callum was just basically over on holiday, having a little sneaky one, trying to do what players do and have a bit of R&R, and that's it. It was as simple as that. We all know that Brendan was looking to take a year out and stay in his holiday home in Mallorca. It's a fantastic part of the world to stay. And one bit of thing I bet you didn't know, that the current Liverpool manager also has a holiday home there also. He bought something around about €7 million. So yeah, that was it. It was as simple as that. Callum McGregor has at last told us what went on in Spain. The club didn't put him up to it. It's interesting that they sat and had a chat about everything, that the way the club had been run, and obviously everything that needed to be done, how they could improve things. The fact that Brendan had been keeping an eye on Celtic over the last couple of years also, had been watching all the games in the Champions League. So yeah, it was probably meant to happen. And these things, like Callum says, the revolving door moments in football, they happen for a reason. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. This statement is out by Callum. It was just an honest chat that helped lure Brendan Rodgers back to Celtic. So on that note, I hope you've enjoyed the afternoon edition of the Celtic News. I shall see you on the next video.